team needs a bag. So what we do? Walk in the club. You had like 9 of your homies. It was like 30 of us. The security moved to the side. I said, Meek, you know what's this about? You started taking it off and handing it to me. You was polite about it, Sugar Plum. You was polite. Sugar Plum, you was polite. I hear Rose. Hey, look. I got this. You got this artist you pumping. You don't want this to get out. We need 50. He brought 52, Crenshaw, and 48.
Your face, please, with sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, you know what they say, an unchecked lie can easily turn into the truth. And with social media these days, if you let enough people run with a narrative, whether it's true or not, it could definitely turn into the truth, no matter how absurd it is. Now, with everything that's going on with Luce Cannon and Big U, and that recent indictment that they were just caught in, I don't think it's anybody's best interest to go on podcasts and start admitting things. However, it seems like the same information that Luce was exposing is the same information that got him in the situation he's now in, all due to him going on podcasts and making it known. It's almost like when keeping it real goes wrong, because it's damn if you do and damn if you don't. Because if you fake a lifestyle, they're going to find out and say that you're not really like that. But if you keep it a little too real and end up getting penalized for it, they're going to laugh at you and say you should have known better than to bring street business on social media. And that's something I always stress in the first place, so I agree. However, let's get into this whole Meek Mill and Luce Cannon situation, whereas Luce revealed to the world that Meek Mill was basically extorted for $50,000 when he went to LA before, and it was all because of Big U setting up the play in which Luce Cannon basically carried it out. And before we even get into it, let me point something out. None of us knows if it's 100% true or not unless you're Meek Mill, Rick Ross, Big U, or Luce Cannon. But here's two things I'd like to point out to y'all. One, out of all the rappers in the world, what would make Luce Cannon want to mention Meek Mill's name to be the victim of the situation when he could just pick anybody? But then two, I find it interesting that Luce Cannon been saying this story for a while now, and he's been very, very vocal about it on all platforms and podcasts that he's been asked about it on. Why is it that once Luce Cannon and Big U gets locked up, suddenly now Meek Mill wants to respond to it? He had ample time to respond to the claims on whether it's true or not, in which people were looking for an answer at a point in time when Luce Cannon first mentioned it, but coincidentally when both individuals are locked up and can't really fend for themselves, Meek goes on a Twitter rant and states that he was never extorted for no $50,000. Not to mention, the documents from an informant on that case is what stated that RR and MM, which is believed to be Rick Ross and Meek Mill, were the victims. Now in the documents, it'll say, quote, he did that to two famous rappers. Williams then detailed demanding $50,000 from the celebrity rapper RR, or they will unalive the celebrity rapper MM. Williams then said RR dropped off the $50,000 and Henley stopped answering the phone and then did not share any of the proceeds with Williams. According to Further No Jumper and Vlad TV segments, Henley then served a cease and desist order on No Jumper, and this podcast episode was removed from the platform, although a recording of the episode remained available elsewhere online. Williams' recounting of this robbery occurred years after the robbery of Victim 1's dispensary and years after Victim 1 had already recounted and documented the robbery for the FBI. Now, according to social media and other sources, this is believed to be the official documents within that case that showed what was going on and that it was an informant on the case and so on and so forth. But here's the thing, right? Let's say hypothetically Meek Mill did get caught lacking out there in LA and he was took for $50,000. At the end of the day, it happens. You're making it worse if it really did happen and you saying it didn't, because somehow, some way, if it really did, there's always going to be somebody there that can actually confirm that it did with some sort of evidence in the long run. Now, if it didn't and Luce Cannon is lying, then that's just weird. But if Meek Mill is lying about it as well, it's even weirder. Now, whether it did happen or not, Big U is not going to go out on a limb and say that it did or it didn't, because that will put him as a suspect of the whole situation, and he's already fighting the case, especially when it comes to unaliving and other extortion and fraud stuff that's going on pertaining to his organization. However, here's a video of Luce Cannon talking about the situation that took place when they allegedly extorted Meek Mill, or you don't really like using the extortion word, but that's pretty much what it is. Y'all check this out.
Damn it. He walked in, as soon as he walked in or whatever, all the security that was with him, they spent around. Grab cubs. Bro. What's up? Get on the phone with Ross.
Honey, all right, that's enough now.
Get
We're
on
not
the
going to
phone
tell
with
all
Ross.
the details.
We gotta hear this one. All right, so he called Ross. Why did you have him call Ross? This is crazy.
Because we needed that bag, or because was
He owed y'all money.
no, he didn't owe no money. We took the money.
Oh, this was an extortion. Oh shit.
It's not extortion.
Ken,
And then
all right.
See, yeah, we don't want.
See, I'm going to have to probably bail him out after this
We
interview.
don't want to.
No. We'll just say Meek Mill snitch on him. It's fine. Meek ain't gonna tell.
Look, we don't want to get the extortion part. It was just a business transaction. You give
How much y'all charge you?
50. I'm saying
50,000?
cash.
They gave you cash money.
Yeah. No, they ain't gonna say nobody lying. That's why Meek and Nipsey became cool after that situation, because they started using the same PR. So Meek got smart and started hitting Nipsey up, and that's why the big youth kept going with Nipsey.
Now, Luce Cannon is going to have a hard time trying to defend himself in this case, because I know he says it's just a federal complaint and they only have him for certain things. However, I've seen myself at least on 2 platforms that he went on explaining the story, and others where he puts himself in the midst of an extortion situation where he says out his own mouth that he was successful with. And whether it really happened or not, when they have such charges against you and then you're on the internet basically owning up to it, no matter how you try to dress it up and call it a business transaction, all the DA have to do is convince the jury and use that same information against you. Then you have Remo asking him questions pertaining to Tokyo Tony, where she accused him of taking $40K from her. And keep in mind, this man is fighting a case with similar charges pertaining to taking money. So why would you even ask about that? Right? And Luce, I don't know why he would even want to do any interviews or talk about anything about the case publicly, knowing that he's fighting for his life right now. But anyway, let's get into what Meek Mill had to say about all this, because he would go on Twitter addressing the allegations of him allegedly calling Ross to get $50K because he was getting extorted. In one tweet, Meek would respond saying, quote, "This guy must be using the story to confuse his indictment because I'd never seen him before. I would have put him to God's test on the spot. I never even met Buddy, but I don't negotiate with fake thugs. Ask him what chain, because all my chains some ish, LOL, watches all 300K, up vibes." Now in another tweet, he would say, quote, "It's blatant they trying to use the internet and create a for you, even if it's not your life. We can see clear, D-heads. The jig is up from all these bought up fake hip hop pages. That ish work for kids, not for grown men." Then in another tweet, he would say, quote, "It's a real world, real LA N-words that respect the ish out me, how I carry myself in the open arms. Where you at to build my people up? I don't care where you from. That's why you see me around Nipsey and others. Men of respect and honor." Then in the last tweet, he would say, quote, "Me, Nipsey, YG, Mustard, and a few others made sure we didn't follow the East Coast, West Coast narrative. I changed my life by blessings. But I've always been down to meet up with fake street bullies in abandoned areas where there's no civilians and take their heart." Now y'all pardon the reading, because as y'all know, these rappers never seem to have proper grammar, when it comes to typing on social media. But basically Meek is saying that it never happened and it's all a false flag. Says he never got took and he never even seen Luce Cannon before a day in his life. Now I don't know if Luce was masked up or whatever when he claimed everything happened, but I do believe whenever someone's coming to rob you, I doubt you're going to see their face. And usually, if you do, that means they're coming to take your life. So you should be happy if you don't see their face, trust me. But anyway, there y'all have it. Meek shoots down the allegations of him ever paying $50K when going to LA for anything and says he never seen Luce Cannon a day in his life. I know Luce sometimes call home and do podcasts, and his wife has a platform as well where she speaks for him. So I'm sure if he catches wind of all this, he's going to let us know what's going on if it really took place. So I'll keep you guys updated. But until then, make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.